hell? Oh. Okay, and we are back. Behold, my awesome, how do I point to this? My awesome new chat thing right there. They will disappear after 70 seconds, but they appear there. So if you type something in the chat, it will appear on screen. So I'm basically an NPC streamer now, because my stream responds automatically to user input. So yeah, ice cream so good. Meow, meow, meow. Ice cream so good. Okay, today I wanted to discuss some situations going on. I wanted to talk about the Air Canada incident where at SFO airport, where an Air Canada plane almost landed on a taxiway of 4 waiting jets. So that's pretty scary. Let's turn on Pale Moon. There we go. It's pretty scary if you ask me. I'm going to move you down there. Fortunately, disaster was averted at the last moment. But first up, let me move this a little bit. I want to be kind of on the side. There we go. Okay. First up, we should watch a video of what happened. So, this is funny. I open up YouTube and the Young Turks are on right there, even though I was trash talking them recently, because they do suck. Oh yeah, Air Canada SFO taxiway. Oh yeah, Air Canada flight 759. I wonder if there is. God damn it! I'm so sorry, folks. I gotta hide you from the advertisements. Oh, skip ad. There we go.
Where's this guy going? He's on the taxiway.
Hang on. We gotta show it nice and big, so I'm gonna cover up my face. Okay, let's start over the video. So you'll see basically the Air Canada flight coming into land and very narrowly. So here is the Air Canada flight. Here is the taxiway.
Air Canada go around. In the go around, I count 759. 759 looks like we're lined up. Flight heading 280, climb maintain 3000. Heading 280.
Wait, what? Oh, okay. Here we go.
Good evening, Air Canada 759 with you. Have my pitch visual 28 right. Canada 759, just returning 28 right, clear to land, then 2708. Go on 28 right, I count 759.
Here it is. Canada 759. Here is the taxiway.
Canada 759. We see some lights on the runway there. Across the runway, can you confirm a clear land? Air Canada 759, confirm clear to land runway 28 right. There is no one on 28 right, but you. Okay, Air Canada 759.
What's this
guy
doing?
going? He's on the taxiway.
Air Canada go around. In the
Oh,
go around, Air Canada
God.
759. 759, looks like we're lined up. Flight heading 280, climb maintain 3000. Heading 280, 3000, Air Canada 759.
United 1, Air Canada flew directly over us. Squawk, this United 1, Air Canada flew directly over us.
Yeah, I saw that, guys.
Yes.
759, contact NorCal 135.1. We'll catch you in a couple minutes. 35.1, I guess 759. United 1, we're going to get you going here in just.
So yeah. Basically. Shut the fuck up. Mentor pilot. He's actually very good. But, so basically what we have is une situation where basically Air Canada, so SFO here, let's also pull up let's pull up another window because I want to go to Google Maps. Let me add another window capture, Pale Moon 2. Okay. Click. Okay. Sorry, I'm just resizing windows. Okay, so I'm going to go to, I just want to see SFO from satellite image. Let's make you a little bigger and turn you to terrain. Maybe. Oh, whoops, didn't mean to do that. Terrain. San Francisco Airport. Rancho Guacamole. Okay, so okay, no, ask later. Don't stop. So here, how do we? No, don't share my freaking location. Is there a way to? Okay, well, I think this is the best we're gonna get. I thought you could, don't share. I thought you could, like, change your orientation, but I can't figure out how to do that. How do I, X, close everything, don't search. Okay, so basically, here we have, oh wait, where are we in this video? Oh yeah, there's Air Canada. So Air Canada is coming into land, and it's going to runway 28.
He's on the taxiway.
I think you said 28.
This guy going?
I'm confirmed clear to land runway 28 right there.
28 right. So basically, Canada 759 is flying in from the southeast and is cleared to land on runway 28 right. And they're doing a visual approach, which means that they aren't using instrument systems, which was correct. That was standard because it was not like foggy or anything like that. So there's nothing weird about doing a visual approach there. However, in addition, so we have the pilots were exhausted. We'll see more about that later, but they were severely sleep deprived. So besides that, though, what was happening at SFO was that runway 28 left was closed, and so it was completely dark. So it was like turned off, like there weren't lights or anything on it. So when the pilots are coming into land, they've flown into this airport before, and they're expecting to see two runways. One is 28 left and one is 28 right. So when they do come in, and they do see two like rows of lights, but the one on the left is not 28 left, because 28 left is in total darkness. The one that they see on the left is 28 right, and what they see on the right that they think is 28 right is actually the taxiway. So they're instructed to land, and you hear the ATC going like, or you hear them asking the ATC, like, are you sure we're clear to land? We see lights on the runway, the lights of 4 other airplanes. And ATC, from their perspective, they can't tell what Air Canada is lined up with because they're over here. And so if they're lined up with the taxiway, it looks the same as if they're lined up with the runway. So ATC is like, no, it's clear, you're good. And Air Canada's like, okay, cool. Comes into land. Not sure the exact sequence of events, but I think, so basically they're coming in. At some point, they realize that they're on the taxiway. I've heard, I think people were saying that the United pilot speaking up and being like, where's this guy going? He's on the taxiway, is what clued the Air Canada pilots in. I've also heard that they initiated the go-around before United pilots actually said anything. So it's hard to say if like the United pilots saying things, maybe it's like, no, now I'm sure they know exactly when they go around. Anyway, basically, a go-around is basically when the plane comes into land, but for whatever reason, they're like, nah, psych, we're gonna not land for like various reasons. But one of them being that you're landing on a taxiway with four other airplanes on it. And so if we go back to the video, the crazy thing is that at the closest point, the Air Canada flight was like, I think it was 9 feet away from, I'm not sure if it was the United flight. I think maybe from the United flight, but literally, if they had started the go-around like a moment later, they wouldn't have been able to pull up fast enough, and they would have literally landed into this airplane while there were 2 more airplanes lined up behind it. So if that happened, I'm sure this guy would be like, oh, well, I'm glad that we got missed, but that's not what happened, thankfully. Yeah, very close call. Pretty scary. Not a great thing. Not something you really want to happen very frequently. It's hard to say how likely this was to be, an actual crash. But if Air Canada did end up being too late and not being able to pull up, I think it would have been the deadliest aircraft accident ever, because I think there were, presuming that everyone on all 4, I guess, affected flights, well, everybody on Air Canada would definitely perish. The one right below it would probably kill like a lot of people, but like it looks like it's kind of, if it hit, it would hit near the back, so it'd be mostly people in the back who died. And then for these two, I mean, Air Canada would just slam right into them, like even like on the ground. Like I have no idea what like would happen. I like if an airplane is flying that fast and just runs face first into another airplane, because Tenerife, the Pan Am was like trying to get off the runway, so it wasn't like a direct head-on collision. But here it would have been head-on collision. So let's look up Canada 759, the Wikipedia page. Oh, sorry, this was 2017. I don't know why I thought 2013. What happened? 2013. There was something in 2013. What happened? Something aviation-wise. 2013 aviation accident. I swear there was something. I might be making... Oh, was that the year... that... Louisiana... Oh, okay, yeah, okay, this is probably what I'm thinking of. Controlled flight into terrain is an accident in which a airworthy aircraft under pilot control is intentionally flown into the ground, typically a CFIT. The crew is unaware of the impending disaster until too late. So I think this is the one where it crashed into the seawall. If that makes sense. Hang on, my light turned off. Where is my... Dang it. Oh, crap. Where's my... Here. You can plug in here. Sorry. Anyway, so... Yeah, sorry. I was thinking of 2013. 2013 is the other SFO accident where Asiana Flight 214 crashed into the seawall. Yeah, there we go. So that's a different one. Oh yeah, okay, back to Air Canada. So basically, let's see. Okay, so there were 140 souls on board. Actually, let's just go through the incident itself to get a better understanding. So at 11:46 local time, Air Canada Flight 759, carrying 135 passengers and 5 crew members, was cleared to land on runway 28R. The adjacent runway 28 left had been closed at 10 p.m. local time, and its lights were off, except for a 20-foot wide lighted flashing X at the eastern runway threshold. The captain was flying the aircraft and the first officer was monitoring. The 2 pilots of AC 759 acknowledged that they mistook runway 28R for 28L and therefore lined up for landing on the parallel taxiway C, even though runways and taxiways are lit with different colors and intensities. Preliminary post-event investigations investigation results noted that runway 28R and taxiway C were lit on default settings in different color, and the automatic terminal information system broadcast information was current and advised that 28L was closed and unlit. According to preliminary results, as the weather was clear, the pilots were not required to utilize instrument landing system. That it's basically what it'll automatically line the flight up with the runway, and instead relied on visual approach as typical for the prevailing conditions. So basically, just starting out, pilots are doing everything normal. They mistake the runway, or they mistake the runway as the taxiway. And the thing is, it's not like one of them was like, how do I say this? The fact that they were both like had the same thought means that it's not just like, oh, the pilot was just being dumb. Like, there was something, even if like it was just one pilot who had that thought, like I wouldn't, like there are reasons, but like the fact that both of them, it's like there's no way you can blame the pilots because they both misinterpreted it in the exact same way. So yeah, it's like, yeah, basically. So I'm coming at this from the perspective of the fact that the pilots are, they're, in my opinion, not at fault. In my opinion, pilots are very rarely at fault for an accident. But in this case, I think the summary, they attribute it to pilot error, which we'll go into later. But so anyway, we have Air Canada 759 coming into land, lined up with taxiway C, even though with clearance to land on runway 28R. So taxiway C contained 4 airplanes, 3 from United Airlines and 1 from Philippine Airlines, queuing for takeoff. At 11:55:46 p.m., so 23:55:46 p.m. local time, upon spotting the aircraft lights approximately 0.7 miles from the runway, the AC-759, that's Air Canada 759 pilot, asked the tower if he was clear to land on 28R, to which the aircraft controller responded, "There's no one on 28R but you." When AC-759 was approximately 0.3 miles from the runway threshold, the AC pilots, quote, did not recall seeing aircraft on taxiway C, but something did not look right to them, quote, according to a post-incident interview summary. The crew of Philippine Airlines 115 turned on their landing lights to alert AC-759 they were lined up on the taxiway. The pilot of United Airlines 1, the first in line for takeoff, interrupted the radio traffic at 23:56:01 and asked, "Where's this guy going?" "He's on the taxiway." The air traffic controller then ordered AC-759 to abort landing. After AC-759 acknowledged the go-around, the ATC stated, "It looks like you were lined up for Charlie there." AC had already started to climb before the go-around orders. So afterwards, UA001 radioed the tower saying Air Canada flew directly over us, and the air traffic control responded, "Yeah, I saw that, guys." They're so casual about it. It's like, yeah, like 1,000 people almost just died. Yeah, I saw that, guys. I don't know. It's pretty incredible how calm they are. I would be like freaking out. During the first approach, AC flew for what am I saying? During the first approach, AC-759 flew for 1/4 of a mile over taxiway C, descended to an altitude as low as 81 feet, and approached as close as 29 feet to the airplanes sitting on, 29 feet laterally to the 4 planes waiting on taxiway C, ordered to abort the landing. According to flight recorder data, the pilots advanced thrust levers when the airplane was 86 feet above the ground. The airplane descended as low as 59 feet, approximately 2.5 seconds after the thrust levers had been advanced. Following reconstruction of events, one pilot not involved in the incident noted that the crew had waited for 5 more seconds before. One pilot not involved in the incident noted that had the crew waited 5 more seconds before pulling up, it would have collided with a third airplane, UAL 863, on the taxiway. There was also less than 10 to 20 feet separation between the bottom of the Air Canada aircraft and the tail of Philippine Airlines A340 of the that's just the type of airplane. SFO was the first airport in the United States to install airport surface surveillance capabilities, ASSC. Airports ASSC, which is a set of runway safety tools that display aircraft on and near an airport. Which should have alerted the tower of a potential conflict between runway and taxiway movements. AC-759 disappeared from the local controller's ASSC display for 12 seconds between 23:55:52 and 23:56:04 local time. From shortly after the Air Canada pilot asked for confirmation that 28R was clear, to the time that the UA001 pilot noted that it was lined up with taxiway C, as AC-759 was too far off course from 28R. AC-759 completed its go-around and landed without incident after the second approach. A single air traffic controller was monitoring ground and tower frequencies, which would typically be handled by 2 controllers. Basically what we have is, airplane comes into land, it's lined up on the taxiway, which has 4 airplanes, queued up to take off. And then within literally the last 5 seconds, if they had waited 5 seconds longer, they would have crashed into the third airplane queued up. And so that would have been bad. There's a Boeing 787. Oh wow! So it was Air Canada, I think, was it A320? Yeah, A320. Philippine Air. That was the A340, I think. And then there were there was the 737. That was a United Airlines flight, and then a 787. Two 787s. Oh, sorry, I'm getting confused. There was a 737, a A340, and 2 787s that were queued up on the taxiway, and the Air Canada was an A320. I really like the A320. A320, it's a nice aircraft. If you have an opportunity to choose between an A320 and a 737, hands down, A320. Boeing fucking sucks. Airbus, is just like, yeah, Boeing sucks. I mean, after the whole like 737 MAX thing where they literally basically allowed hundreds of people to be killed to save money. Yep, that's pretty bad. So the incident was not considered reportable under then federal regulations, but National Traffic Safety Board Chairman Jim Hall called it the most significant near miss we've had this decade. And so they reevaluated flying requirements. So a retired pilot stated that SFO requires, quote, precision flying as the two runways are laterally separated by 750 feet and taxiway C is separated from 28R by less than 500 feet. Other pilots pointed out that some airlines require all aircraft to use the ILS regardless of weather or visibility, which would have led the crew to realize they were not lined up with 28R. So yeah. So actually, it's kind of intense. I've flown into SFO and we were landing on 28L and there was a plane landing on 28R, and like I was in the seat on the right side of the window seat on the right, and the plane landing next to us, like it was literally like landing at the same time. It looked so close. I was like, and like a few other people like noted, it was like, wait, we're like getting really close to them. Are we about to like crash into another airplane? So yeah, next time you fly into SFO, if you're on either of the 28's runways, then be sure to look out your window because you might see an airplane uncomfortably close to you. Let's see. Oops. Whoa. So, okay, and then I don't know what these runways are doing, some other stuff. These ones don't look like they're very used. I don't know. Are these ones just unused airlines or whatever? Okay, final stages. So the pilots should have known, heavy quotes, that runway 28L was closed because it was in the NOTAM report, which is Notice to Airmen, Notice to Airmen, Notice to Air Missions. It's a notice that the pilots have to read, I guess, before flying. However, it's like a whole list of things, like expecting a human to be able to like intake all of that and like be like constantly like aware of so many specific details. It was like on the 6th page or something. Like it's pretty unreasonable to expect humans to like a computer, yeah, that can remember all the things, but like a pilot, like and then contributing factors included not taking advantage of ILS, which was not in use. However, that was customary. It's not like they were like, we're supposed to be using the landing system, but we're just gonna eyeball it, No, that was normal. That was the procedure. If it was like clear skies or whatever, then you land it using your visual whatever. And then pilot fatigue. This is the big one. So crew's body clock was at Toronto 0300, so 3 a.m. Eastern time. The first officer had no significant rest for 12 hours, and the captain had for no significant rest for 19 hours. So the captain would not have been able to fly under U.S. pilot fatigue rules. Transport Canada planned to bring its pilot rest rules in line with international standards later in 2018. New regulations were announced in December 2018, closer to international standards, but criticized as substandard by the Air Canada Pilots Association. See, you know that you're doing something dumb if the fucking Pilots Association is like, no, that's not good. 'Cause like, of all of the things to like skimp out on, like aviation safety measures, like, is like not you don't want to skimp out on that. And like, I'm gonna go ahead and trust that pilots have our best interests at heart, because they also have their own interests at heart. So yeah, so basically Canada had bad rules regarding pilot fatigue, and so as a result, both pilots were did not have enough rest, and so that makes it much more likely for an accident, for, you know, I guess not an accident, but like a incident like this to happen. Okay, so the FAA got 6 recommendations. 1, identifying approaches requiring an unusual manual frequency input. No clue what that means. Displaying it noticeably on aeronautic charts. Cool. Reviewing NOTAMs to prioritize and present relevant information. So basically, I think this is saying that the NOTAM, the Notice to Airmen, should, like, instead of just blobbing everything out, should, like, you know, have the more important stuff a little higher up. Requiring aircraft landing in B or C airspace to alert pilots when not aligned with a runway. So B or C airspace. Let's see. The United States airspace system is intended to maximize pilot flexibility within acceptable levels of risk. So what is, I don't know. No, not that. Class A. Class A. Oh, hang on. Okay, so it has to do with mean. So MLS, mean sea level. AGL, above ground level. FL, flight level. In the U.S., airspace is categorized as regulatory and non-regulatory. Within these categories exist controlled classes and uncontrolled controlled and uncontrolled airspace. So Class A. Oh, okay. Got it. So it's just the, like it's literally the airspace, like, so like a Class A airspace, it seems like, is between 400 or 14,500 and 18,000 mean sea level. I'm guessing feet, maybe, or meters. Okay, so Class A airspace extends from 18,000 feet mean sea level to 60,000 feet throughout the contiguous U.S. and Alaska. Unlike the altitude measurements used in other airspace classes, the FLNNN flight levels used in Class A airspace are pressured altitudes referring to standardized altimeter, blah, blah, blah. Class B airspace is defined around key airport traffic areas. So Class B is this one here. Usually airspace surrounding the busiest airports in the US according to the number of IFR operations and passengers served. Each shelf is a larger. Class B airspace normally begins at the surface immediate area and then shelves. Okay. Oh, so I guess like depending on which class you're in, depends on like changes, regulations and stuff. Cool. Oh, okay, cool. Anyway, sorry, let's get back to this. Crying aircraft landing in... Oh, I see. So if an aircraft is landing in B or C airspace, basically airspace that's crowded, like more like B is really crowded airports and C is like crowded but not as crowded airports. So basically something to alert when they're not lined up with the runway. Modifying airports to alert on collision risks and clearly showing closed runways as construction lightings on 28L looked like ramp lighting. Air Canada simplifying its SFO approach charts and includes SFO-specific training in aircraft simulators, trains its staff to reduce expectation bias, and retrofit new aircraft like the A220 and the 737 MAX with dual heads-up displays. Cool. Heads-up displays to enhance situational awareness in low-visibility, high-risk approaches. NTSB, so as the pilots were slow to report the incident, the airplane had made another flight and the cockpit voice recording was recorded over. Okay, so this is crazy to me. Like, maybe it's just because I don't know anything about what I'm talking about, but like, how is it possible that like the voice recorder before this, or like standard voice recorder is literally 2 hours. So the NTSB recommended adding up to 25 hours, which is still like, what? Like, that just confuses me. I don't know, like maybe they're using some like tape media or something. So like, I don't really know what I'm talking about, but like 2 hours? Like, that's it? Like, even 25 hours. Like, I can, on a 1 gigabyte SD card, I can store like 1,000 hours of music. Like, what are they talking about? 25 hours. So yeah. So a former NTSB investigator observed deficiencies in the investigation, criticizing the board for avoiding introspection and indicating that it is more reactive than proactive. The report faults Air Canada for reporting too late and erasing the voice record. It It notes that the NTSB only requires notification when an aircraft lands or departs on a taxiway, or when a collision is avoided after a runway incursion, neither of which happened. It also dismisses comparable taxiway mishap in Seattle-Tacoma, SeaTac, by Alaska Airlines Flight 27. Also recommendation to improve the NOTAM system led to an ICAO initiative to reform it. Chairman said, Robert Sumwalt, the chairman of the NTSB, described NOTAMs as, quote, a bunch of garbage that nobody pays attention to. So if airlines wanted, like, you know, pretend like they had nothing to blame and that, like, oh, it's the pilots, they didn't read the NOTAM. Literally, the chairman of the NTSB is saying that the NOTAM is a bunch of garbage that nobody pays attention to. Like, let's look up a NOTAM. Let's see if we can find, like, an example of a NOTAM. What the fuck? Crap. Can I just, like, view an example of one? Texas. View notices. How do we display it? No. Oh, okay. Airspace, okay, so this is a NOTAM, I guess. So yeah, pilots, I'm gonna need you to, is this actually, let's see, let's try reading one of these. I don't know anything that I'm talking about. Definitely not a pilot, so I'm sure they will understand exactly what all of this stuff means. But FDC 3/6991 parentheses A1391/23 and parentheses dash airspace ADS-B auto dependent surveillance rebroadcast parentheses ADS-R on parentheses comma TFC info service BCST TIS-B FLT info service BCST in parentheses FIS-B services may not be available. WI an area defined as, I assume WI is within an area defined as 13 nanometer NM as nautical miles. Boom. I'm so smart. Nautical miles, defined as 13 nautical mile radius of whatever the fuck that is. AP airspace affected may include DRI, SFC, something, something, something. Is this actually like a NOTAM? I want to see like an example. NOTAM example. I guess that's a NOTAM. That is frickin' hectic. I mean, disclaimer, don't know anything that I'm talking about. Like, everything I know is from watching 7-4 Year Kelly on, Kelsey with 7-4 Year on YouTube. But I do have a lot of opinions that I like to share. So, yeah. But yeah, basically, if the FA or the chairman of the NTSB says NOTAMs are a bunch of garbage that nobody pays attention to, then NOTAMs are a bunch of garbage that nobody pays attention to. let's see. Aftermath following the incident in early August, the FAA modified nighttime landing procedures at SFO, forbidding visual approaches at night when adjacent parallel runway is closed, and replacing them with ILS or satellite-based approaches. And requiring 2 aircraft controllers in the control tower quote, until the late night arrival rush is over. Okay. The fact that SFO, that any airport, let alone San Francisco airport, only has 1 ATC at any time of day or night. Like, what? How is that allowed? I do not understand that. Like, my town, you know, we have a pretty small airport, and there better fucking be 2 people up there at 3 a.m. Like, I am like how, like, what? That is just so weird to me, that there would only be 1 air traffic controller for San Francisco fucking airport. Like, yeah, it's nighttime, but like, clearly there were literally 4 planes taking off and 1 coming in. Like, I'm like, what? See, this is the problem, is that I don't know, I guess SFO is like a government entity. I'm not actually sure how that works, but like, clearly, who owns airports? Clearly, whoever is in charge does not want to pay. Okay, yeah, it looks like, according to yourmileagemayvary.com, nearly all airports are owned by a government entity. Oh my god, imagine a privately owned airport. Like, privately owned airlines is bad enough. Like privately owned, many things should not be privately owned. But like, airplanes, like, I'm sorry, I would much rather have, like, okay, the government, I'm very opposed to like military spending. You fucking see these goddamn military airplanes they're making? Like, those fucking things are crazy. Like, I want them just doing all the airplane stuff. Like, I don't want some literally, like, Boeing fucking is like design, like, skirting around regulations to save money and end up killing hundreds of people. Like, yeah, that is what happens when you have private interests, like, in control of this shit. Like, I don't know if Airbus is what is Airbus's deal, actually? I'm interested. It's a multinational aerospace corporation. Crime manufacture airports. Oh, it's also the leading manufacturer. Like, see, Airbus is European. That's why they suck so much less than Boeing, because Europeans actually have, just like, you know, they actually regulate their private entities, unlike some people I know, cough cough, the United States. But like, I'm sorry, I like, people are like, oh, the government is incompetent. You think the government is incompetent? Let's look up 2023 military aircraft. Like, oh, you tell me the government is fucking incompetent after this. Like, this shit is terrifying. Okay, this airplane can literally...
5 words. You
Jesus,
pronounce...
shut the fuck up. Dementia... What the fuck? Okay.
These are the most powerful fighter jets on the planet. They're fast, stealthy,
and lethal. But they are super rare, and some cost as much as $412 billion to develop and build.
Okay, that's a lot of
So
money,
which
but
are the most advanced fighters in the sky?
look at it.
And what will the jets of the future be capable of?
It's land.
Let's find out. Welcome to Explained. Fighter jets are the most feared machines in any air force, and they've evolved significantly over time. Gen 1 fighter jets had basic propulsion, machine guns, and unguided rockets, and literally no self-protection measures. Gen 2 had swept wings, range-only radar, and infrared missiles. Then came Gen 3, which featured supersonic speed, pulse radar, and could shoot at targets beyond visual range. Gen 4 and 4.5 are the most commonly used today, and they have good maneuverability, look-down, shoot-down missiles, and reduced signatures. But these jets were designed in the 1970s, which means that they're almost outdated. And this also means that the F-16s that Tom Cruise flew in Top Gun Maverick will soon be replaced. Gen 5, on the other hand, are the most advanced. So what makes a 5th gen better than a 4th gen jet? The answer is stealth.
It's fucking like a helicopter.
It's because we've made advances with material science, technology, and computers. So everything now is about speed, agility, better situational awareness for the crews, better weaponry, and above all that is the stealth technology that's being included on these aircraft now, so that they're increasingly more difficult to see by conventional radar.
Designing and developing Gen 5 jets is so expensive, only 4 models are in operation.
4 models, wow.
And only 3 countries managed to build them. Let's take a look at the 4 Gen 5 aircraft in existence.
Okay, let's speed this up a
Starting
little
with
bit.
number 4, Russia's Su-57 Felon. The Sukhoi Su-57 is Russia's first stealth aircraft. It's covered with a radio-absorbing coating, and it's made from materials that give it a low infrared signature and low radar visibility.
Skip ahead.
80 Dragon. The Chengdu J-20 is deadly, and China's got over 50
I
of them.
want to see the American ones.
Its massive engines allow it to fly faster and further than other fighters in China's fleet. Attacking enemies from a long distance is its specialty, and its design allows it to carry more weapons on board, like 4 medium to long-range missiles and 2
Wait,
short-range
where is
missiles.
the second
The
American?
deadliest thing about the modern ones, such as the J-20 in China, is the fact that it's so new. We have so little information about it. We know it's a good aircraft, we know it's very capable, it's obviously modern, and it does have stealth technology. Air combat is very much like a game of chess. You can't really fight your opponent unless you know their capabilities.
What really sets the J-20 apart is how customizable it is. The J-20 can be configured into a bomber version, an electronic warfare version, a carrier-based version, and there are rumors of an unmanned flight and drone control version coming out too. So how much did all this cost?
Ugh.
Research and development alone was $4.4 billion,
So fucked up.
and to build each plane separately was around $100 to $120 million. At number 2,
Okay.
the USA's F-22 Raptor. With its stealth, agility, low observability, and situational awareness, the F-22 is designed for air dominance. But it's not just about being sneaky. This fighter can fly at speeds higher than Mach 2.25, and it can cruise at supersonic speeds with ease.
In reality, if you're operating an aircraft that fast, it will start to heat up the surface of that aircraft, which means even though you've got stealth technology to combat radar, it means people can start identifying you using thermal and infrared systems. In addition to that, when you're operating at those speeds, if you then turn, the G-forces will be tremendous. And anything over 9G puts a huge amount of pressure on the body. Your breathing is very difficult. Your blood supply to your head starts to be restricted, which can cause you to black out. And it's like very, very physical exercise.
The F-22 is capable of close-range dogfighting with 20mm cannons, and its long-range infrared and radar-guided missiles help with beyond-visual range combat in the air and during ground attacks. But what sets the F-22 apart is its ability to collect and share tactical information with friendly fighters. And this allows the US and its allies to coordinate effectively during a battle. Each F-22 costs $143 million, and the US has about 183 of them.
Okay.
Finally, the number 1 5th-generation fighter jet
There we go.
is the USA's F-35.
This thing is
With low
fucking
observable stealth
psychotic.
features, the F-35 can evade detection and enter enemy airspace. It flies at Mach 1.6, is highly maneuverable, and carries weapons internally in stealth configuration. Its long-range AESA radar scans the skies ahead of it, while the electronic warfare system lets it locate and track enemies, jam radars, and disrupt attacks.
One
Is
of the
that
things
actually
that
what
makes
it
it absolutely superb
shows?
is the low radar cross-section. So if you take something like a 4.5 generation fighter like the Eurofighter Typhoon here, you can see all these bits and pieces on the outside of the aircraft. Okay, it's quite a complex structure, and that gives it quite a large radar cross-section. Something like the F-35 has the same radar cross-section as a golf ball.
What?
It's incredibly small and it's incredibly difficult to spot. The closer you can get to your enemy before they can spot you on the radar, the better chance you have of making the first shot and getting the first kill.
The F-35 makes the pilot's job a lot easier. It's got a helmet display system that creates an integrated picture of the battlefield. And if that wasn't enough, the DAS feature sends real-time images to the pilot's helmet from 6 infrared cameras mounted on the aircraft. There are a lot of F-35s in operation, and the US is increasing that number to 2,470 aircraft in the coming years. How much is this expected to cost? $412 billion to develop and build, and
Wonder what that money would
$1.3 trillion to operate
could be
and
used
maintain
for.
after that. Producing 5th-gen jets is costly, and some, like India's HAL AMCA and Russia's Sukhoi Checkmate, are still in the works. But get this, Generation 5 fighters were designed 20 years ago, so many countries are already working on Gen 6.
So Generation 6 is going to be really interesting. I would expect to start seeing things like directed energy weapons, more commonly known as lasers. If I'm operating a Typhoon and I take a shot at an aircraft, it might take maybe 1 minute for that shot to reach the enemy aircraft. With a directed energy weapon, that takes no time at all, as the energy will travel at the speed of light.
Okay, well, this is hypothetical. So, like, okay. I am very opposed to the military, obviously. Its entire purpose is to murder people. Like, it's just evil. However, like, people, okay, I swear to God, people are always like, oh, the government, like, they can't do anything. They're so incompetent. Industry is where you want it. Like, have you seen our fucking military technology? Like, that shit is insane. Like, it's mind-blowing. Like, if the government wants to and puts in the money and, like, resources, it can do a lot of There is not a single corporation, private entity that could design airplanes like that. Like, they couldn't, but they also just wouldn't, because they just care about money. If Boeing can design an airplane that's, like, you know, super awesome in whatever way, but doesn't, you know, but costs a lot for them to make, they're not going to do it because they don't have, you know, because profits. But the government doesn't care about profits, or it shouldn't care about profits. Like, imagine, okay, obviously, all of, like, military spending is insane and completely unnecessary. You know, we can debate about whether there should be a standing army or not, but, like, regardless, military spending is obviously out of control. And, okay, first, disclaimer, obviously, I think that, like, there are certain things that need more need more priority. So, like, public schooling, like medical, healthcare, shit like that, obviously should get, you know, higher funding priority. However, imagine if the US government put as much effort into designing these F-35s as they did, oh God, what the fuck? As they did, like, if instead of designing F-35, they designed passenger airplanes, like, we would be flying fucking, like, we would be putting the Concorde in the dust. Oh, what's up, A1V2E? Good morning. I guess it's still nighttime for me because I'm in California. But yeah. So, like, what do you think about A1? How do I pronounce that? IV2E. You know, aviation. What do you think? Oh God, I fucked up my Twitch layout. Shit. What's going on? Why is it like this? Help. Okay, whatever. I assume you are somewhere to the east of me, if you're saying good morning. Who are these fucking douchebags? Let's skip this. like, the Concorde. Like, we had the capability of supersonic travel in the 1970s. And what happened? Oh, yeah, no, sorry. Not profitable. By, like, what? Excuse me? Like, this is like, it makes no sense to me when people are like, oh, yeah, capitalism breeds innovation. Like, no, it doesn't. The A380, like, one of the most complicated and, like, like, just awesome commercial airplanes out there, is literally, they have stopped production on it because it's not profitable. Like if, like, okay, in my utopia, like, short and mid haul flights would be replaced by high speed rail, because, like, think about the difference in efficiency between a train and an airplane. Like, a train uses, like, relatively little energy to travel to carry, like, 1,000 people. I don't really know how many, but, like, a lot of people can fit on a train. An airplane uses a shit ton of energy to transport, like, 70 people. Like, or, like, a really short haul flight, it's like, oh yeah, these 20 people are flying, it's like so inefficient. It's just, like, mind boggling how inefficient it is compared to train travel. Like, if we actually had good train infrastructure, like, it's kind of mind blowing that, like, it's easier to fly for me to fly from Southern California to San Francisco than it is to take a train. Like an airplane is so massive, it needs to get all of that plus all the people and everything on board literally into the air. That is so much energy. A train literally just, like, rolls along. Oh my god, I get very heated about this. I feel like it's like, how have we let this happen? Regardless, in my perfect utopia, any short to mid haul flight, or any travel that is currently, we use short to mid haul, so, like, from here to, even across the country probably, but like, definitely within a state, all of that gets replaced by high speed rail. And then we use, A380s, 787, stuff like that, for, transatlantic, transpacific, like, transoceanic flights. Like, yeah, it's not efficient compared to a train, but, like, you can't take a train across the Pacific, unfortunately. That would be pretty cool. But and, like, if we're talking about high speed rail and airplanes, the time difference isn't, like, that significant. Like to get across the US, like, it might, take a day by train. I'm not actually sure. Like, by, like, high speed rail, like, really fast train, whereas it takes, like, a few hours by airplane. But then, like, even, like, say, like, going from LA to San Francisco, like, by plane, it's like you spend, like, an hour or 20 minutes in the plane or something, but, like, you also have to, like, have all the, like, going through security, like, all that shit. So, like, all of that adds on both ends. So, like, a few hours in the train is, like, not that much worse in terms of time than going by airplane. So, like, it's like, I'm fine, like, taking a couple extra hours to travel on a train if it's going to be, significantly less expensive and, like, better for the environment than going by airplane. With long haul flights, it's a little tricky because basically the only other option is by ship. And when we're talking about the difference in time between a ship and an airplane, like, that's actually pretty significant. Like, a ship, I don't know how long, but, like, it takes time. It takes a while to get across the ocean. So, like, even if it is more like efficient than a airplane, like I don't think that like we should expect like airplanes like to be replaced by ships, if that makes sense. Like maybe like if you're going from like France to Corsica, where it's like a short distance, but like Trans-Pacific, like I think that it's reasonable that to expect, you know, aviation to continue to play a role in that regard. But instead, we have the opposite going on, where the airplanes that do these long haul flights, 747s, A380s, are like not making enough money because right now the airlines, instead of focusing like on the like big hubs, like a few big hubs and then smaller planes spreading out from that, it's more like the Southwest model, where it's like you can go literally from here to here. There's no like big hub that you kind of go to. Like there are, but like it's less so than, you know, like, so instead of having one big flight to get somewhere, you end up taking multiple smaller airplanes to get there. Oh shit, sorry, my nipple was out. I am so sorry. Was it out? I don't know. Which, oh yeah, it was. Don't look. I truly apologize. Oh god, this is what happens when I wear such revealing clothes. I think I have nice nipples. Anyway, disregard. Sorry, what was I talking about before I talked? Oh yeah, airplanes, right. So yeah, look at this thing. An F-35 is like the government can do stuff. Like if the government wants to, like, well, okay, I guess this is a Lockheed Martin thing, but like, let's face it, that's the government, you know. It's not like Lockheed Martin is just like, oh yeah, it's literally the Air Force is paying for all of this shit. Like imagine if they were like, instead of like, okay, let's design the best airplane for murder, you know, we want to be able to kill the most people. What if instead they're like, let's design the best fucking airplane for transporting people across the ocean, you know? Like, oh, you know, we could have crazy shit, but now we're literally stuck with like, you know, the same airplanes we've been using since the 60s, which is fine. Not complaining too much, but like, you know, we have all this innovation for military shit. Why can't we have some innovation in, you know, anywhere else? Like, it's literally like anything that is good for like the people. Oh, that's not profitable. We're not gonna, you know, the government, we don't need, but anything that's like for like murdering people and like, you know, imperialism, it's like, yeah, let's fucking throw money at that. Like, Lockheed Martin, here is a fucking $1 trillion, go to town. Whereas like imagine like literally they pay Boeing also to like build military aircraft. Imagine if instead they commissioned oh god, and it was used by the Israeli Air Force. Jesus. That's so fucking ridiculous. Yeah, anyway, so basically what I'm trying to say is that we should have the Concorde back. Like, come on. Like, if people in the 1970s, when the Concorde came out, they were probably like, oh, I bet in like the, you know, 2020s, everybody's gonna be flying supersonic, you know? They were probably like, oh yeah, that's just gonna be standard. But oh whoa. Okay. But no, instead, it was unprofitable and therefore, yeah. Oh gosh, what happened here? Oh, a couple of people survived. 2 people died. Okay. A fuel leak. So this was another supersonic airplane. Like, look at that. Oh, they're so cool looking. Like, oh man, I would love to like see a Concorde like in person. Like, it's hard to imagine, like, because like when I see it like in an image, it looks small to me. But also I see that there's the windows are like little dots, and it must be pretty big, right? Like, I don't really have a sense of how, like, the scale of a Concorde, and Concorde, and like, okay, let's see this test flight.
Speedbird 9180, I have your departure instructions. Go ahead.
So there's a car nearby. Can't really see though.
We are right turn heading 220 degrees. Climb to altitude 6,000 feet.
Deploy the whole position for now, but after departure, right turn heading 220, climb maintain 6,000 feet with Concord 9180.
Checker, thank you. Break. Speedbird 9180, you clear takeoff 9 right, surface wind 11014 knots.
Clear takeoff 9 right, Speedbird Concord 9180.
Oops. Okay, so come on. I think the angle is gonna improve. Yes, there we go. Much better angle. Also, this video is pretty trash, so I'm gonna lower the volume a little. Okay, so there it is with a 747 in the background, but it is closer, so it's like, how, like, and there it goes.
Speedbird Concord 9180, Compton 5 Juliet, passing 3,000 feet.
Speedbird 9180, good afternoon and welcome back. Landing altitude 6,000, there's no ATC speed restrictions, full guidance.
Thank you, climbing 6,000, no speed, and ident coming down.
And here it's coming back in. Okay, maybe this video has a better... Oh, shut up. Let me see. Maybe there's like Concorde size comparison or something. Concorde size compared to 747. How about? Is there... Oh man, I would love to go inside a Concorde. Okay, so... Okay, obviously wingspan is like half the size, so... But the length is It is a little shorter. Cabin width. Okay, it seems like it's like a narrow body aircraft basically, but lengthwise, it's only 10 meters shorter. So I wonder, I want to see like a, okay, yeah, here we go. Concorde versus other passenger jets. Okay, is there a picture? Okay, this is not helpful. Oh, here we go. Okay, so that is pretty big. This looks like a model, but I think like I'm assuming it's to scale. Like it's not. Oh, here, let's see what this one says. These look all like military. Here we go. Plane commercial plane size comparison. Here we go. Do we have a Concorde in here? Of course we don't. Here we go. There's a person for scale. It's pretty big. Like, man, I really want to see like a real like size comparison, you know? Also, like, freaking the A380, boom, look at that thing. So massive. Whoa. That's pretty cool. What am I looking for? Man, I really just want to like see one so I can know for myself. Oh, comparing size of the most famous aircraft. Let's try this. Come on. Dang it. Of course it doesn't load. Oh, here we go. So, wait, what? Concorde versus Boeing 2707? What is that? Never heard of that airplane. Oh, it's a project. Okay. Canceled. Cancel culture rears its ugly head again. So, anyway, basically, hi Ozai, what you doing? Basically, what I'm trying to say is, you know, society, it's got a lot of problems, but when it comes down to it, you know, it's all we got. And I hope that, you know, we can, you know, just, you know, keep things moving, you know. I'm trying to be inspirational. 7 black rabbits of high. Oh wait, I should sing my song. Do 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 do. Oh, I can do karaoke for her. Let's see, YouTube H.E.R.2 karaoke. Okay, so this is the song I've been practicing in my singing lessons. Let me make sure that everything is playing. We don't need that anymore. Do 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 do. It's cool. It's really never been that deep. Wasn't thinking about you, 'cause you didn't give a fuck about me. Thought I was up in my room, crying myself to sleep. I was with a better you, while you were busy playing me. I was playing you. Do 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 do. I was playing you. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Thought I wouldn't find out. Thought I didn't know how to play the game. Could have screamed at you for hours. Instead I was screaming somebody else's name. There are no rules. Now I can do whatever I want. I can never lose. So it's funny how you thought you won. But I was playing do 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 do. I was playing you do 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 do. I was okay. And there we go. I'm still working on my head voice, which is the like. So if you don't know. So I'm taking singing lessons. That's my new thing. Basically, I want to get famous. I want to become famous and popular. So like that's my goal. So I'm gonna, you know, do what it takes. But anyway, I've been taking singing lessons. So there is the chest voice and the head voice. Now most people basically exclusively use their chest voice. That's like basically what you associate with regular speaking. However, there is your head voice, which is like basically it's like how do I describe? Oh, I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree. Oh, it's like I don't know how to describe it, but like you know what it is. Like you'll like it's like it's like higher, but it's also like kind of more smooth, I guess, if that makes sense. So like head voice, chest voice, so basically a lot of times in singing, depending on the type of music, but so like in classical singing you use a lot of head voice. In pop, my teacher was saying you use a lot of mixed voice, so they're able to do head and chest voice at the same time, which I think is crazy, and I have no idea how I would even do that. But yeah, so I've been practicing going from like head voice to chest voice, head voice to chest, or wait, that's the wrong way. Chest voice to head voice, chest. I was playing you. I was playing you too. So it's a little like, since I'm used to like using my chest voice, as most people are, I'm a lot better at, you know, controlling it. So it's a lot easier to hit specific notes that I want to hit. Whereas with head voice, it's like, it requires practice. I've definitely improved, but I can definitely tell when I'm missing a note. Oh, 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 oh. It's like what you associate with opera, you know? I think that's head voice. So yeah, but I was playing you do 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 do. I was playing you do 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 do. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been practicing. So soon, hopefully, eventually, I'll actually be good enough to be like super good at singing and just like awesome and popular. And then all of the, I'm going to become so popular. I just want to be popular. I just want to be popular. I just want to be popular. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I was playing you do 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 do. So yeah. Okay. Anyway, that was my singing for you. That was for you, A1V2E. If you are still here, if not, no worries. You're just missing out on my beautiful singing voice. Anyway. With that, it is 11:30, so I think it's time for me to head out. It's time to leave. It's time to leave. I think it's okay if I post this on YouTube. My nipples definitely were exposed, like, at least once, which, like, I think is fine. Like, I would love for people to see my nipples, like I'm like if some attractive person was like, hey, show me your tits, I'd be like, for sure, like, yeah, let's do it. One time this guy I knew, who I was like friends with, but like before we were like super like as close friends when we were still getting to know each other, I was like, because we were kind of like hanging out or like talking a lot and stuff, and he didn't know I was trans, so like I was like, well, I guess I should probably tell him. So I was like, oh, by the way, I'm trans. And he was like, whoa, no way. And he was like, can I see your tits? And so I showed him my tits, and yeah, it was cool. He liked them. We did fuck later. Not that same day, maybe. I don't think so. Maybe we did hook up. So that's cool. So yeah, if anybody wants to see my tits, you better be attractive, because otherwise, pass. Just kidding. It's okay if you're unattractive. Anyway, sorry, I don't know why I got sidetracked like this. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, because it's hard out here for a pimp. And it's weird because I don't actually hear that in my headphones, so I'm like, wait, let me try, hang on. It's hard out here for a pimp. Oh, I should have my headphones plugged in there, duh. Okay, anyway. Adieu. Good night. Guten Tag. Ma salama. Wattini wa zaytoon. Okay, I'm gonna go to sleep now. Oh wait, this has a you do. fuck. I am still streaming. Sorry, I forgot to stop streaming. Good night. Okay, bye.